This is who I was, but it's definitely not who I am. Welcome to Vegas Prison Stories. So today is going to be video number 1 on the Aryan Warriors. They've been around since the 80s in Nevada. And say in California you have the AB, in Nevada we have the A-dubs, the Aryan Warriors. These dudes are treacherous, they run everything, and they're nothing to play with. So in 2004, the feds came in and started investigating Nevada's prison system. In 2007, the feds indicted 14 members of the Aryan Warriors for a slew of charges that included murder, extortion, racketeering, and drug distribution. Now among those 14 were fellas like this. We have Ronald Joey Sellers, aka Fuzzy, Daniel Joseph Egan, aka Dano, James Milton Wallace, aka Gargoyle, Guy Edward Almoney, and Ronnie Lee Jones, aka RJ. Now these were the top. These were the heads. These were the horn holders in Nevada at the time. Now Sellers was the most infamous of them. Fuzzy had already stabbed one inmate, Anthony Beltran, in I believe 2006. And then in 2007, he stabbed Guy Almoney, his fellow brother and horn holder in the A-dubs. He did that in North Las Vegas after they had, gotten indicted. We'll talk about that in a minute. Now during this federal trial, the federal judge actually made it okay to hide the names of the prosecutor's witnesses that were going to testify against the A-dubs for their safety. The A-dubs defense attorneys and the A-dubs themselves did not know who was going to testify against them up until right before the trial started. That's how dangerous these dudes are. The judge also withheld the names of all the jurors from the A-dubs just to protect the jurors. These dudes are no joke. They are not playing around. So one of the witnesses ended up being Michael Calabrese, or Calabrese, whatever. He was already facing robbery charges on the fed and the state level. You can guess why he was testifying. If he was convicted on these, he would have had a life sentence. So whatever happened with that? We'll talk about that too. So Guy Almoney, the one that Fuzzy stabbed, ended up turning for the state. Ended up testifying against his brothers, although he was indicted in this to begin with. That was the most damning thing. Now you have one of the people that's actually indicted that rolled over and testified against everybody. And that's how you bring it down. Now the reason he testified, at least from his side of it, is because he was stabbed by Fuzzy. So, I mean, what did you expect, bro? You stuck dude while you guys were in Fed holding waiting on this trial. Of course he turned on you. Now, Almoney's testimony broke everything down. He said, man, they're over here. This CO right here, that's the one right there. You need to watch him. He's bringing everything in. Cell phones, dope, you name it. They got PSPs over there, man. They're playing Nintendo. Come on, man. You just ruined the whole yard for everybody. Now, a former A-dub horn holder named Michael Kennedy also testified in this case. He had been stabbed like 16 times by his brothers and blooded out. How he survived, I mean, that's a vicious one right there. But he did, and now it was his time, I guess, to get some payback against the dudes who turned on him. That all happened over sportsbook. He was running the sportsbook. There was a dispute on the money that was supposed to be coming in, and his boys walked up, did the hokey pokey, and turned his ass around 16 times. He's the one who broke down also, along with Almoney, about how the COs were popping doors so that the A-dubs could get after their enemies, how they were bringing in cell phones, which was a major thing, and he even implicated one CO in a murder. Now the murder was the CO popping the door so the A-dubs could get at this dude, but it's still a murder. Now one CO was fired immediately. That CO they found had gotten a tattoo from an A-dub in prison, and that doesn't look good on the job resume. Even more COs were implicated in having sexual affairs, things of that nature, with the A-dubs. Some of them retired, some of them quit, some of them still worked at the prison. By the time of the trial, 8 of the 16 COs that were implicated in this still worked at the prison. So only 8 of them had left. Only one of them was facing possible charges. Now on July 6, 2009, 5 of the A-dubs were convicted of racketeering, firearms charges, and conspiracy. That's a stupid word. Conspiracy. You know how many conspiracies I've been convicted on? What are you talking about? Ugh, get out of here. Now, Ronald Fuzzy Zeller pled guilty to racketeering by assault with a deadly weapon. That's a pretty scary little combination of words for you. It got him an extra 20 years. But what'd he care? He was already doing double life anyway. What's 20 more years? Ronald Fuzzy Zellers died in prison of complications from liver failure due to hepatitis. Daniel Dano Egan got over 16 years in the feds. He paroled from Nevada in 2017 and was released from the feds in March of 2022. I don't know where he is. He's alive, so I'm not going to speak on it even if I did know where he was. I hope he's moved on with his life and bettered himself. James Wallace, Gargoyle, he got 25 years, with 10 of those years being run consecutive to his state sentence. So 25 years in the feds, mandatory 10 of them, 15 of them are basically run concurrent, 10 of them are consecutive. So it's like a half and half. I don't know. I've never really seen anything like that, but it is what it is. The dude took 25 to the face, had to do 10 after. Now, he died in custody in Nevada in 2019. Guy Almany, one of the guys that testified in this case, because he was stabbed by Fuzzy, is finishing up his sentence right now in Connecticut, of all places. And he is expected to be released sometime within the next 4 years. Now, Ronnie Rj Jones, he was found not guilty on all charges. His whereabouts, I have no clue. I can't find him. I don't even want to find him. The man was found not guilty. He did the rest of his time in Nevada, and then he went home. Hopefully he sailed off into the sunset, man. Got out of this by the skin of my teeth, and y'all ain't catching me again. How about that? Now, Michael Calabrese, the other person that testified in this case, well, he was paroled from Nevada in 2006. After that, there is no record of this guy. I had heard that he had gotten an extra 15 years on gun possession, but I can't find him anywhere. So, I don't know. The dude's a ghost now. Now, in December of 2009, Kenny Yum Yum Crumb, that's a cold-ass nickname, who was only doing a 4-year bid, got himself a fresh 24-year federal bid in this indictment. That's how you turn a small sentence into a big sentence. Now, this dude, obviously, he was with the business because, you know, he was doing short time when you consider all the time that everybody else in this case was doing. And then he got broke off with a quarter century. Kenny was released from the feds in March 2021. And I hope he's doing really well. I mean, to go from having a 48-month back number to catching 25 years, it was like 290 something months I think he got, was, whew. Bro, that's a hard pill to swallow, and that man didn't testify, stood on his laurels, and took a quarter century to the face when other dudes weren't doing it. And more power to you, Kenny. I hope you're doing really good. Charles Jensemer, he got 35 years in the feds. He is currently being held in FTC Oklahoma City, which I believe is the hub for the feds when they're moving people around. I'm not 100% on that, so I don't want to say that as a fact, but if somebody in the comments can let me know about that, maybe, you know, maybe they I don't know, maybe they have a prison there. And he's 58 years old. Robert Allen Young got 17 and a half years in the feds. He has since been released, and his whereabouts are unknown, and that's probably a good thing. That means that he's not in trouble again, you know. Now, Big Mike Yost, also known as Yoda, got 14 years in the feds. He was released from the feds in April of 2017. And again, whereabouts unknown. I didn't really go looking hard because these men did their time. They got out. They're probably living their lives. They're probably just now maybe hopefully having kids, things like that. You know. I'm not trying to dig up, show their pictures or anything like that. I'm only showing the pictures of people that are either gone or still locked up, trying to keep it legit. Now, Corey Loeb's Crossman. I knew him from the street. I met him through my sister. The guy was always super respectful and super cool. I really liked his get down. Anytime I was around this dude, he's a real gentleman about the way he conducts himself, but he's hard as nails. Now, he was sentenced to 11.5 years in this case. He paroled in 2017 from Nevada on 3 separate concurrent 10 to life habituals. So in 2017 he gets out, goes and does the rest of his time in the feds, which was running concurrent with all of this, thank God. And he got out of the feds in 2019. Corey, if you're out there, I hope you're doing amazing things. I hope you have moved on with your life. I know you've moved on with your life. And I hope life treats you really, really well. Now, if you looked at these pictures as I was going through them, through this spiel, you'll notice one thing. None of them look like your typical Hollywood horn holder, key holder, shot caller. Each one of these men are deadly dangerous, but you wouldn't even know it. If you walk by them on the street, most of them you would not even know the violence, the sheer violence that they are capable of. You would have no idea. You would look at them and you'd say, huh, that's just a regular person. I've noticed a lot of that lately. I've noticed quite a bit of it actually in my comments when it comes to rah rah rah. A lot of dudes will tell you, this dude looks soft. That might be. They come in all shapes and sizes, I promise you that. And these dudes, they don't play. And ain't nobody ever told me that I do. And always remember this too. Even a soft wolf is still a wolf. So I'd love to thank everybody for coming to Vegas Prison Stories. The new subscribers, we're actually starting to take off now. At least I feel like it. And I'm super excited about that. And now I'm starting to get more content ideas and I get sidetracked. This story I was actually going to put out yesterday, but I couldn't because something else came along. And so I had to put that together real quick. Not real quick. It took me 17 hours to do it. And now I'm back on track and I'm doing the stories like this. Every now and then something's going to come along. There's going to be something in the news. There's going to be something, and I'm going to comment on it. Why wouldn't I? As long as it is sort of related, if it's relatable to my channel. With that being said, once again, thank you for coming to Vegas Prison Stories, and I'll see you next time. Have an awesome day. This is who I was, but it's definitely not who I am. Welcome to Vegas Prison Stories.